Red Dead Redemption 2 is a great game in general, but it deals with its already established lore very poorly. Let's start off with the failed robbery of 1906 that was brought up in Red Dead Redemption 1. It was said in the first game that in 1906, John Marston was shot and left to die in a failed robbery. But during the events of Red Dead Redemption 2, the only mission where John was left for dead was when the gang went to attack an armored train car.
They will not crush us.
I hope so. But if we let Jack and the women free, well then
There
maybe
ain't
we
no
can...
freedom for no one in this country no more, Arthur. One more big score, we got enough money to leave. All this turmoil has the army and Pinkerton spinning. We take a boat and slip away.
I don't know what you're saying, Dutch, but it seems like I've heard it all before.
Just one more
And there's
train.
always a goddamn train.
Arthur! This is different. We know this is full of cash. Army payroll, money and supplies to repair the bridge that you blew. This is all going to plan. We rob Uncle Sam and we leave. The poetry of it all. What do you think?
It sounds wonderful. Hell, I ain't got much to lose, but you gotta do what's right and cut some loose. John and his family, I'm afraid I have to insist. I mean, we gotta let him go, because if the Pinkertons come through again, they will kill everyone.
John? Insist?
Yeah. Insist.
Of course, pal. Whatever you think is best, I will see to it. Huh? Now, we gonna rob a train?
Sure.
We will survive. We will flourish. We have work to do, my friends. Let's go. Come on. We are gonna borrow a little money from old Uncle Sam and be out of his hair once and for all. He insists upon it. Insists.
In that mission, John fell off the train and Dutch told everyone he was going back for Marston.
Get on! John! Talking John, you protect that money! Man the gun, Arthur! I'll go stop the train! Stop the train? Whatever you do, do not stop the train! You secure up ahead, but keep us moving! I'll deal with that patrol when they come through!
However, when Dutch gets back, he tells everyone that John had died.
Where's John?
I tried.
He didn't make it. That patrol killed him. We had to run.
Come on. Let's go. Before another patrol turns up.
Ha! Ha!
Later on, this turns out to be a lie, and as the gang is falling apart, John comes back madder than ever at Dutch for leaving him for dead.
You talked?
That's a goddamn lie.
Dutch.
Dutch, think of the future.
Milton told me.
And you believe him, Black Lung? You believe him?
It all makes sense now.
No, it damn well doesn't.
Dutch. Think.
Dutch, be practical now.
Dutch!
John?
You left me. You left me to die. My boy. I didn't have a choice. John, I didn't have a choice. Left me!
All of you, you pick your side now because this is over. Oh, them years, Dutch. For this snake.
Oh, be quiet, cowpoke. Be quiet. You live in the clouds.
No, you be quiet, Mr. Bell, and put down your gun.
There's Pinkertons coming, fast!
Now!
This mission, however, does not take place in 1906. We know it doesn't take place in 1906 because some years later, after the gang fell apart, John was living with his family out in West Elizabeth in 1907. Now for the biggest lore problem that I couldn't wrap my head around, the exclusion of the Marston's daughter. In Red Dead Redemption, it is brought up a few times that John and Abigail have a daughter that had passed away, but a fun thing to note is that Javier Escuela knew about John's children. One of Javier's quotes in the first game is something like, "I hope your wife and kids rot in hell." Because he used the plural, we know Javier knew about John's 2 children, which means John's daughter was alive during John's time in the gang, but had passed away sometime after leaving. However, John's daughter does not appear anywhere in the events of Red Dead Redemption 2. It's possible Abigail was pregnant during the events of the second game, and lost the baby during the year spent off-screen before John's story starts, but we have no evidence of this. Abigail's belly doesn't get any bigger, and we never hear anyone talking about her being pregnant. The Marston daughter just simply doesn't exist in Red Dead Redemption 2. And now for another lore break. In one of the missions in Epilogue 2, John and Sadie ride out to New Austin.
Got any work?
Yeah. I mean, there's always work. Whole country's getting robbed, robbing, or stopping robbers. Well, seems like there ain't much else in this world except bastards, victims of bastards, and the bastards who want to put the bastards in the ground.
And which are you, exactly?
Me? In my time, all 3. But same as most people.
I guess.
Funny thing about this job, well, opportunity, I just might get to be all 3 again.
How you mean?
You ever heard of Shane Finley?
Cattle wrestler?
Murderer, thief, child killer. He's wanted in 5 states. I caught him last week. He was disguised as a lady in a house for fallen women. I was bringing him in, and I got robbed by a professional rival of mine, James Langton. Oh, he's a nasty bastard. I didn't much like him even before he robbed me.
That happened a lot. This line of work.
Yeah, but they're all people like me. Anyway, now they're holed up in the desert down south, waiting to head north so they can hand them in to the state troopers in the north country. I'd given up on the job as just a bad lot, but now that you're here, maybe we can go rob them back.
Is the money good?
Yeah, it's real good. Plus, I don't much like getting robbed by no one. Come on.
Where is it we're heading again, you say?
South. Now come on, mount up. We got a ride ahead of us.
Riding through McFarland's ranch down to a cliff to scope out Armadillo, and when they see some gang members coming from the town, they follow them into Pike's Basin.
Anything?
Not yet. Keep looking between here and that town. They'll be there. Somewhere.
I think I see something.
Yup. There they are. Down there.
Who's who?
Well, the bounty is the feller who's all tied up.
Very funny.
And that big fat feller with the funny hat, that's James Langton. The other fellas just work for him.
Where do you think they're heading?
Come on. Let's go follow him.
The problem with this is that John says in the first game that he's never been to New Austin. If this weren't a mission, we could simply say that the player going to New Austin in free roam wouldn't be considered canon. But considering this is a main mission in Red Dead Redemption 2, we have to believe this is canon, which means John had been to New Austin before the events of the first game. And for the final lore break I've noticed, though this one is a lot smaller than the others, in Epilogue 2, after John, Uncle, and Charles build the Marston's ranch, John writes a letter to Abigail, but it is made clear by Abigail herself in the first game that John knows she can't read. But this can simply be dealt with by saying once Abigail received the letter, she might have had someone else like Jack read it to her. But one thing that ruins that idea is when John mentions in the letter to Abigail that he had bought that piece of land she had been reading about in the paper, meaning Abigail can read now, but for some reason in 1911 she can't. Now it is possible that this isn't a lore break and instead she may have somehow forgot how to read by 1911, or her reading may have just been really bad.
Darling Abigail, I hope you and Jack are doing well. I remain a fool, and I'm sure I shall die a fool. But I'm trying very hard to be something like the man you deserve. I have done something very silly in an effort to impress you. And that is, I've purchased a home. The land you read about
in the newspaper up at Beecher's Hope is now ours, and we are going to try our hand at ranching. Mr. Geddes kindly helped me buy the land. I met Uncle while I was coming out of the bank, and while I know your feelings about him, he has been enormously helpful in his own fashion. Charles Smith has also appeared and is unsurprisingly a pillar of strength. Together, we've built you a home. I hope soon to show it to you. I miss you and the boy more than I can express. Please, come back to me. Yours always, John.
That'll be all for this video. If you've noticed any other lore breaks that I didn't mention in this video, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I would love to read about them. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.